What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Photo Booth 101 University podcast. As always, we got Tyler, we got Hans. Today, we are going to the basics. We're going to be discussing templates, right? For those that don't know, a photo template is literally the artwork, the design on the photo that's either shared or printed out. What do you guys like? What's your process, you guys, from making a template from scratch? I obviously you guys know how I do, but I like to hear from you guys. Like, what's the process? Is it an email you're sending out? How do you get your information? And just walk me through the process.
Yeah, so my favorite thing to do is to try to get the evite if they have like an invitation that they send out like by email or by text. I try to ask them like to send me that invite, just because most of the time it's gonna fit the theme, and they have like some type of graphic that they want to use, and most of the time they're super happy if I could like crop it out, and use Canva to crop it out. So that's what I try to get a hold of. If they don't have anything, or maybe the event is like months or a year from now, then I usually send like a questionnaire and ask them for like themes and colors, and then I'll do like two rough drafts real quick. Just like I try not to spend more than like 10 minutes on a rough draft, just because it's my time, and then just send it to them real quick and like, hey, is this like the direction you're going? So that's what I do. Just try to limit my time, and try not to waste time doing the different templates.
Yeah, love it.
I kind of same thing like Hans. I send out a questionnaire. I don't really go by Evite because I've done a few events where they want it to look like the Evite, and then I've sent it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't really like it like that." So kind of like just send them a questionnaire, like what colors, what's the style? Do you want certain balloons or flowers, or do you want what kind of font do you want for the name, like et cetera, et cetera. Another thing I've been doing lately, and I actually been doing it for a few months now, and it's been saving so much time because time is money. Is I pre-make my templates. I'll do like 20 different like templates about like zoos, like with animals and stuff. Those are good for like the baby showers and stuff like that. I'll do like a bunch, like I have like 20 of them pre-arranged with flowers and stuff like that ready to go. So like if someone says, oh, I want something with red roses, I already have that. And I'll just tell them, here, I'll put your font in the top, whatever the name of the event is, but I'll like pre-make it. Um, Another one I have that I already have pre-made is like the Roaring Twenties theme. I noticed that like the black and gold Roaring Twenties theme is a big one that I've been getting lately. So I pre-make a few of those and I'll send it to them. Say, hey, which ones do you like? And I can just put the custom name on the top. It's been helping me out. It's saving me a lot of time.
Love it. Yeah, and you know what I do too for the form? We have a section, like a question just saying like, what words do you want on there exactly? Because
Yeah.
you know, we had an issue one time. It's just like a quick little side story where we had the wrong date on it, and the client like approved, and like after the wedding, they're like, "Oh, hey, it says 2022 when it was 2023," which was a big mistake. So I think it's important to make sure you have what words do you want on it exactly. That way you can copy and paste. Um, I like to I want to just share this info. I think it's really important for all photo booth owners to put up boundaries when it comes to templates. You have your questionnaire, like Han said, and Tyler, you have those questions. And just to communicate with your customers, like, hey, like we're gonna make a template based off this info. And if you want to go a completely different direction, we're gonna have to charge you for that because it is extra work. And it's not the customer's fault, right? They don't understand what goes into it. They just get an email with a template and they think, they don't even think more than that. It just stops there. So if if you're watching this and you're finding yourself struggling with the templates, and if it's taking you any more than 30 minutes to get it done, you know, set those boundaries, because we've had a client in the past, I've learned the hard way, and that's a good thing to have, access to this podcast here, where it took 3 hours. They kept changing the template. It was like a themed party, but they wanted to change it completely. So, moving forward, what do you guys, what's your deadline like? Like, let's just say you book an event 4 months down the road. When do you start that template work? Like, what's your, like, is it like a week before, or is it just right away?
Honestly, I like to do it right away. I like to get it out the way. Luckily, with the software that I use, I'm already allowed to create the event, have it just put to the side. Uh, I'm like very ahead of the game, so I like to pre-make it, have it right away. But if it's something like I'm a little busy and I know the event's 2 months away, I've done it times where I'm like, okay, I'll do it like a week before. But I like to send it to the customer right away with like the deposit and everything, so they know I'm trying to be like rapid with them and I care for their event, even though like their event is in November when it's only January. I like to send them that stuff because then I know for sure they're booking me, and then I know for sure that obviously I'm gonna get the deposit because I'm literally trying to get everything done with them. So all I got to worry about is the day of the event, and that's it.
Mm. Yeah. What about
I
you,
mean,
Hans?
2 weeks. 2 weeks is usually like when I start like really pushing for it. If I could do it earlier, it's great because I don't like rushing my templates, especially when they take forever to reply. Like, hey, like what do you want for this template? And it takes them like 48 hours to reply. So usually I try to push for sooner, but 2 weeks is when I really start like, hey, like we can't push this to the last day or else you're not gonna like it.
Yeah. Hey, isn't it kind of annoying when, I mean, it's not the customer's fault, but like this happens to us all the time when they're like, "Hey, can you use this font?" And it's like, how am I supposed to find that font? Like, do you have a link onto font, or they'll just send like a writing and then they're like, use this font. And I'm like, how? How? So
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, I situation. It was actually it was that flight that event that I had to do that I canceled my flight and I had to stay for an extra day. She wanted the font to be like some special font. She's like, "This is my husband's 40th birthday. You know, I want to look like this." And honestly, man, and she still paid what she had to pay. I did like 3 templates for her, and I'm like, "Listen, I'm gonna have to charge you, after this one because I've been giving. I could have charged you after the first one, but I'm generous with you. But I don't know how to do it the way you want it." She literally said, "Can I do it?" I'm like, you know what? If it whatever makes you happy, go for it. She did the fun. She did it because she sent me something off of Etsy, right? It was off of Etsy. I had to purchase it. Obviously, I charged her for it because I had to purchase it off of Etsy because she wanted that background. And then when I did the background, I did a font off of Canva. She still gave me a hard time about it. And I got to the point after the fourth time, like, listen, I'm gonna have to charge you like $50 for this one. This is really getting like a little too much time consuming. And she's like, can I? I'm like, you know what? Go for it. I sent her the thing, and she did it. And she sent it right back to me. I'm like, okay, whatever makes you happy. She did it.
yeah, Hans, do you use Dafont, the Dafont website for
I
your?
use, what do you mean? Like what font was?
Have you heard of Dafont?
No, I use what the font to find the fonts.
What the font?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's called. I use what the
Oh,
font, and then I just try to like you just literally have to just like put like a image of the font that they're using, and it'll come up either with the exact same one or some similar, and then I just kick those back to the customer. I'm like, hey, I couldn't find the exact same one unless you have the name of the font. Like I can't use it, but like do these look similar? Because what the font like sends you like a couple lists of like, hey, these look similar, and then usually they'll choose that one. Fonts I don't really worry about. Like I've done it so many times now that either I use what the font right away or they know the name, and then I try to like push like don't give me a font that you don't know the name of. If you don't know the name of it, like it's gonna be a headache.
yeah, yeah. And then too, by the way, everyone watching, we use Canva Pro. If you don't know what Canva is, it's literally the easiest form of like Photoshop. Happy to announce after a year of sending Canva emails, we have an affiliate link for Canva that'll be in the description when you see this podcast below Tyler and Hans's and all of that stuff. You'll see the Canva link to sign up. If you guys do use our Canva link to sign up, just send us proof of that. After you sign up, just let us know. And the pro version is worth it. We're going to be putting you guys on an email list. We're going to have like a lot of our templates that we make available for the people that use our affiliate link for Canva. That is exciting for me because we've been doing that for a year and we get so many people to sign up. But Tyler, do you have Canva? Is that what you use too, or using something else?
No, I have Canva Pro. I use Canva Pro.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, what do you feel like the difference is between Canva and then the pro version?
I
Obviously,
like.
obviously you pay for pro, but the Canva is free. But is it worth it? I
Yeah,
know it is, but I want to get your guys' take.
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's worth it. When I first started, the first like maybe 4 months, I was like kind of being like a little stingy with my budgeting on my business and stuff. And I was like, you know what, I got to give this a try because it was so hard to put certain flowers or something that someone wanted because the pro version just has so much more as far as like decals and all this stuff that you can move around and have. But then if you want something like a special decal that someone wants, like for example, when I did Dunkin' Donuts, I didn't have the pro version and they wanted like these pink and like pink styled like donuts, like those icing donuts, and the pro version on Canva had it. I kind of like cropped out something else from Google and I kind of copy and pasted it and did like on Photoshop and put it, and it didn't look right. Customer didn't like it, so I was like, okay, you know what, forget it, I'll just get the pro. I got the pro. I paid for the whole year because I don't like paying monthly, so I just paid, I think it was like $114 for the year. And then boom, I put the right donuts. I sent it to them, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is great! I love this." I'm like, "Yeah, from here on out, I'm gonna use Canva Pro. It's just so much more."
Yeah, Yeah, and I know Hans, you love Canva too, right? The pro version.
Dude, I freaking I bought it like within like 2 days of being in the business, dude. I was just like, nope, because there's so many like graphics. It's under the graphics. There's
Yeah.
so many of them that belong to Canva Pro. And then I'm not sure, but I know that like editing photos, like where you could like start taking off backgrounds. I think that one's pro, but like the real big one for me was doing overlays where like you could save it as a transparent PNG. That's pro. And man, doing overlays on a template just makes it so much better, man. I'm so big on overlays. It's just it looks so much more professional, man. That
Mm.
even if my customer doesn't ask for like an overlay, I'll just kind of like throw one in there, like, hey, look, like this looks pretty sweet. And then sometimes they'll be like, no, I just don't want anything over my picture. But sometimes they'll be like, yo, that looks pretty cool. Like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, so do you guys often have customers go to your Instagram accounts and pick out old templates that you've done? Like let's
Yes.
say we want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
So one thing that I do is every time I finish a template, I put it on a file on my computer and then put it on my Google Drive. And then like I kind of like sort them out like quinces, birthday parties, themes. And then I'll usually send them like a folder of like, hey, you're doing a quince, like these are the ones I've done before. Either you could choose one of these or something similar. It makes my job so much easier, man.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do as far as like I pre-make templates, but I don't have like names on it from like past events. I like
Mhm.
pre-make or I put the like the font. I'll be like, here's a template that we could use, and I'll just put the font up here if you want. And then this is what you like. We usually go I don't know what sizes you guys use, but we do 4x6. I haven't done 2x6 since I've started. I've always stuck with the 4x6. I just feel like it looks prettier. And plus I don't do prints.
Yeah.
So like I was doing prints, 2x6 would be obviously more affordable, stuff like that. But I like the 4x6. And just to me, that bigger picture looks nicer.
Yeah, and here's a quick shout out to Marty. Marty is a photo booth teacher, right? He's a mentor in our mentor group. Here's a tip that we started doing. He will send his clients the template, the first draft, and then what he'll do, let me grab one really quick. Let me grab an example so I can show you guys exactly what I made. Scratch that. I can't find it. But what I'm basically saying is when he sends over the template for them to review, he will put placeholders, right? So if they're planning to use a strip, there will be 3 photos that will be taken. Instead of a black box, which most photo booth owners do, he actually puts a image of the backdrop that he thinks looks the best with their template because most of the time in the rental business, right? Like customers will pick their own backdrop if you have a bunch of designs like we do, and sometimes they'll pick a terrible backdrop that doesn't match with the template. So what he's doing, he's kind of recommending and letting them visually see it, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, I don't know why we haven't been doing that. So I don't know. What do you guys do for the placeholders? Do you just not put them there, or are you doing black boxes, or?
No, wait. After what he shared that tip on that mentor group, I was like, dude, I never even thought of that. Like,
Yeah,
even a mentor's teaching a mentor. I mean, but I mean, he's way up there. I mean, he has years of experience. So I was like, man. So I've been taking pictures with my actual camera, not like from the photo booth, just so they look a little bit crispier, so they know, like, okay, like, yeah, that's I don't want them to be too blurry because I don't want them to know how the backdrop looks.
absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I send them the honestly, I send them the one that just says 1, 2, 3 on it. Just to show them those where the pictures would be. But again, after seeing what Marty did, something I want to do. But now what I want to know is does he actually set up his backdrop to do that and do that like a practice test, or how's he put the picture in there with the backdrop?
I think he's just placing it there like in Canva.
It's like an
Like,
image. You just
like
uploaded an image.
exactly.
Uploading it. Yeah, I wasn't too sure. I was like, dang, imagine every time you have to set up the backdrop and actually test
No,
it.
no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Bro, it's really it's so true though, because we've done a black and white party, or the theme is like black and white, and then they pick this backdrop, the purple one, where or if it's like a roaring 80s party, Great Gatsby theme, this would be the backdrop we would recommend. And
Mhm.
sometimes they'll want the wood with lights, and I'm like, it just doesn't match.
hey, I didn't forget about our bet, Drew. I know I gotta rent that purple one out before next month. I didn't
Oh,
forget.
bro, by the way, Annabelle came in yesterday with her family.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, they picked up a deluxe rotate printer backdrop. I hooked her up, gave her a cup because I was like, hey man, I gotta tell Tyler would kill me if I didn't hook you up here and give you this free cup. So yeah, she came in, man. Amazing family, dude. It's really, really cool to meet people online, people that have watched the podcast, that follow you guys as well. So shout out to everybody that, is in it and is serious about it. So like Annabelle, shout out to you, Annabelle, and everyone else in the mentor group. But what else can we talk about templates, man? I feel like we've covered it a lot. Oh, one thing that really, really is a pet peeve is when customers are like, "Can I make this myself?" And then
That's what I.
but then they want you to tell them how to make it.
Oh no, I had the lady that I was just talking about before who said, "Can I do it?" Because she liked the background because I had to buy it off of Etsy and charge her for it and stuff like that. But she wanted to do a special font that Canva just didn't have. I just didn't know what it was, like some type of cursive, but it was like I don't know. I don't know where she found it from, but she's like, "Can I do it?" I'm just like, "Listen, go for it." And she did it. She sent it back. She's like, "I like it like this." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna complain. You did you did my work, and I'm still getting paid for it." But I've
Yeah,
never had a customer actually like tell me, "Hey, can I do it?" and then want to have me guide them to make the template. No, that's crazy.
Oh, and yeah, and another pro tip here, guys. If you send someone the template and then they call you and they're like, "Hey, can you make these changes?" Always ask for them to either email you or to respond back with what they're requesting. Because it happens all the time where they may call you and it's like, you may not be near your computer and you may forget, or you may do something wrong, or they may request something. And another tip here too is if they send you a photo or a template and they say make something like this, that is like, to me, one of my biggest pet peeves, because that is such a broad statement. They can send you a photo of like anything and say, make it like this, but in their mind, they may make it like the font. We want to use this font, or we like these colors. So always just say, hey, like, please be as specific as you can, because we are custom making this for you. So that's definitely something I've learned. But do you guys, anything else you guys want to talk about, or anything that you think, that could be useful here about templates?
But just my opinion, I just do 2 rough drafts and then I let them, I put the ball in their court when I just do 2 rough drafts. I try not to spend more than 10 minutes on a rough draft. I mean, I make it quick
I love that.
and then send it back to them. And then, so if they don't like that one, it's like, okay, well, then you like this one. And then since you put the ball in their court, they're kind of like, okay, well, I got to choose one. So, I mean,
Yeah.
That's
that's what I like.
I love that perspective, man. Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes tops. I think Monse has a record for a template. I challenged her. She got it done in 2 minutes. It was one of those, one of those basic wedding templates with a little, what do they call it? Eucalyptus flower. And then
The
there's
ones in the corners,
two
yeah.
here. Yeah, two here, and then a couple photos, and she knocked it out. But yeah, man, again, you guys, the templates can take you, honestly, it could be, if you are not properly structuring your business and making things clear, it's not uncommon for it to take over an hour. And that hour can end up being the most time consuming thing, man. I mean, if you're doing a drop off, you should be in and out in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Um, Also, okay. Have you guys ever paid anyone from Fiverr or like a freelancer to make a template?
No, I paid Hans.
Did you really?
I paid Hans.
How much did you charge? How much you charge
I
him?
was,
I,
I was,
I did the roaring 20s from him.
yeah, he did the Roaring 20, and after that, I was like, yeah, and it wasn't because he charged me. I was just like, I gotta start, because imagine every time I have to pay him to do this. I think it was like, how much did he charge me? I was like $10 or
$15, 1 5, 15.
Damn, $1 a minute. He got that. He
yeah, he
knocked it out in 10 minutes.
charged me like 15 minutes for 15, but it was cool. I didn't mind. I was new at the time, he was just teaching me a little bit, but because of him, I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm not gonna pay $15 every time for someone to make this for me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna learn how to do this damn thing. That's when I decided to get the pro, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna. My wife was doing it, but at the time she had a different job, and it was just time consuming for her, and her job was taking over her whole life. But then things changed, and I was like, I'm gonna learn this myself. So I went on YouTube. I started actually watching your videos, Monte's videos, and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I got this. And I started doing it. Started sending a couple customers. That, oh yeah, we like it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing something right here. And then I started having the idea, let me just pre-make a bunch of different ones. So I like dinosaurs, the Roaring 20s, anything that I usually get throughout the year, stuff for customers that are probably going to book us again. I'm like, okay, let me make another template for them that kind of looks like the one from last year and just have it pre-ready to go. Even if they change the theme, I'll just fix it up later. But it's just practice makes perfect. And that's what I learned. So,
So yeah, you can also too, like, if you guys don't want to do all of that work and you don't want to make a template, you could pay someone $10. Website called Fiverr.com. A lot of them are overseas, so you know that $5 to $10 difference is a lot. So it's not like you're like not paying them much, you know. And you could do that. You basically send them, you pay them $5. You send them the information that you get, that questionnaire that Hans and Tyler were talking about earlier. Then, you know, some of them actually have their own questions, so you can send them those questions, and then you're just the middleman. Once the template's done from the guy from Fiverr or girl from Fiverr, they will send it to you. You send it to the client. They ask for revisions. You then bring those revisions to the freelancer. I think it's a great option if you're starting off and you're not really good at it and you really want your photo booth business to be passive.
I should do start selling templates. That would be cool, like
Yeah.
pre-made templates.
I wanted to, but my mentor is launching a template company, and I don't want to step.
I'm,
I
I'm,
don't want
I'm-
to step on his toes.
no, I'm waiting for that, man. I want to buy it. I told you that once he gets it, I want
Yeah,
to buy it.
I'm gonna talk to him too about maybe hooking you guys up. I'm sure he'll be able to do that with the I'll just let him know you guys are part of the, you know, the team and whatnot. And yeah, really quick, guys, we have a sponsor for this video. It is the Photo Booth 101 Mentor group chat. We have a pre-recorded commercial. Let's go to the commercial and we'll be right back. Yes, you guys, we now have a private mentor group chat where you can join for just $199 lifetime membership. There's not one mentor, two mentor, three. We have 5 mentors in the group chat, all with different opinions and strategies, whether it's growing your business, a technical question. It's just a great place to be. Lifetime membership, we have it on sale for $199. We're doing, every single month, we're doing a giveaway for some photo booth related stuff that we sell. Last month, it was for some of the props. Next one will be for a backdrop. So every single month, just for being a member, you have a chance to win some stuff that we're doing. So link in the description, guys. Thank you so much, Photo Booth 101 Mentor group chat, you guys. Link to join in the description. But yeah, let's just wrap this up with just one more topic here. It's something I get asked all the time. It's how far away should the photo booth be from the backdrop? This is something I think we're all aligned with. I know we've talked about it before. So Hans, if you don't mind, what is the secret spot, especially for an iPad photo booth?
Yeah, man. So I do about 5 feet. I mean, it's pretty easy to like kind of measure it with just with your feet, you know. I mean, if you're like a girl and you have small feet, then sorry, you might want to add one more, you know. But I usually do like a stepping method and just kind of eyeball it. And even when you eyeball it, you always want to take a picture, you know, test it out and see how it looks. Make sure that your backdrop is, you know, the only thing showing. You don't want to show both. But yeah, 5 feet is a magical spot. With that, you also want to add a little bit of extra lighting if you want, just to make it look a little crispier. That's my opinion.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Yeah.
No, I think that 5 feet is actually a great spot because, like you always said, Drew, and I always took this like as a great advice, is that you get to huddle up with people and take that photo booth picture. Kind of feels like the old school days, where people are like going into one of those mall box photo booths and they're literally squeezing like 5 people in that little thing. It gives it that feel, especially like with my LED inflatable. What I find really cool about this inflatable, even though it is time consuming as far as setting it up and stuff like that, is that they get to go inside and actually like have that privacy, get in, squeeze together. There's like usually 5 of them and they squeeze in real tight. They have their props and they're always like the one thing I always see when I'm like recording people like use it and stuff like that is like people are always laughing. They're like hugging each other afterwards after the picture's taken. They start laughing at the pictures like because someone like blinked or something or someone moved, like because they're trying to rush for the next pose. And to me, that's special because these people hold those memories forever. And I'm glad that us photo booth operators get to remember that we're making these people memories for a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree with everything you just said. And I know Hans touched on it, but like the importance of that distance is also the lighting. And with iPad photo booths, right, you don't have a flash. You're relying on your ring light or some additional lighting if you're bringing it. And the further you go back, the less light hits the subjects, the less light that's on the subjects, more quality loss that happens. You'll see noise, and then the images are usually darker and whatnot. And I know Hans, you touched on it too. Also, you were going to mention about the mode, right? The landscape mode and portrait mode when you have it on your photo booth. You mind sharing that?
Yeah, so when I have customers, especially when doing like the 4x6 templates, whether they want to do like a digital drop off or they just want like the print like landscape mode, I like to point out the differences because my favorite is portrait mode if we're gonna do like the 4x6. So I like to point out that landscape mode, you could fit a little more people in there because it's more longer, you know, so you fit more people. But I've learned this through customers. Some customers, they when you go to a nice event, you take your time to dress up. You know, they're in a nice suit. They might be wearing a tuxedo. The quinceañera has a gorgeous dress on. So they kind of want to show off their outfit. I mean, they spend hours on it. So I usually like tell them like, hey, like if it's just a backyard party, like cool. But like if it's like at a banquet, like and they're dressing nice, you might want portrait mode just because they like to show off their whole outfit. They took time to it. And then I show them the differences with like what I have on Instagram, so they know the difference, like, oh yeah, like I could fit grandma and like all my five sisters here, but you can't really see our dresses. So I'll let them choose, but I like showing them examples so they know what fits best for their needs.
Yeah, love that, man.
So
Yeah,
are you allowed to put portrait mode pictures, like portrait size on like a 4x6, or if you have a portrait mode, you can only put it on a 2x6?
You can do either. Yeah, so I've done portrait on like on a 2x6, like a classical strip, but you just fit less. It's usually just two pictures instead of three or four.
Yeah,
And
because I'm only asking, I use salsa, and the only thing that I don't like about salsa, and I think I've told you this, off the camera, Hans, is that my photo booth obviously does landscape mode because it turns, the digi booth does turn, um, but the app doesn't. Yeah, just like that, it turns just like that. But the problem is Salsa doesn't have a landscape mode. So when I turn my, the digi booth, Salsa the app doesn't turn with it, and that's the problem. So when they're claiming that when they move to Fiesta, that's what's going to be their new thing, that they're going to go back to landscape mode. So I'm kind of excited for that because I would love to be able to actually do that, because I've had clients ask me, hey, can you put it in landscape mode, like turn it this way? And I'm like, I just, the software that I use can't do that. So, they don't really get mad about it. I just feel like it's something that's been requested. And I'm like, damn, I hope this is fixed. People complained about it. It looks like they're going to finally do something about it. So,
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's useful, man. Yeah, and especially too having it like this, and sometimes people will add balloons, the balloon arcs, and they want the balloons and all that in it. Being able to rotate it and actually have it fit full screen helps with distance for sure.
yeah.
Like imagine being in a situation, right, where the customer spent hours and hours and hours making the balloon arc for the backdrop and it's not even in the photos. Like it's a big.
Yeah, no, that would suck. But another thing I want to say is that what's good about also having an LED inflatable for you guys who are looking into getting one is that the LED inflatable is an 8x8. So I know as far as like a backdrop, you have to have it like to make it look good, like 4 to 5 feet distance in front of the backdrop. But with the inflatable, you could have that 8x8 room, so you could literally put the photo booth like literally touching the wall of the LED inflatable, which gives it that 8x8 space. So that's why, if you notice, the LED inflatables fit like 7 to 8 people comfortably, rather than the sitting, the photo booth 4 to 5 feet in front of a backdrop, and you can only really squeeze in comfortably like 5 people in there. So that's one reason why I do like the inflatable too, because you fit more people.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
To each their own, man. And I'm excited too, guys, that we're actually launching a photo booth equipment rental company to other photo booth owners, which is going to be pretty cool. We're just trying to do different. I've never heard of another company doing that, and maybe we could talk about it next podcast. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. We're gonna just keep this one simple. We talked about the basics. Not every podcast has to be about advanced stuff. Sometimes it's good to talk about the basics, and you never know what you can learn. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to follow Tyler and Hans on their social media accounts down below, also the Canva link, also links to the mentor group chat that we have. If you're looking for a mentor, I'm telling you, this is the place to go. Whatever questions you have, we'll have a mentor that can help you. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. God bless. Take care.